Hey Epic Peoples, Epic Zora here, and I'm here to bring you the next part in the Super Smash Bros. For Unity tutorial. I was going to make this like an actual me making this and then voice over it, but the recording kind of messed up, and so I'm just going to go over everything that I did to make this a thing, and I hope that will work out as well, because I was already more than halfway done before the recording just crashed on me, and so I'm sorry about that. But I did go ahead and just touch up on the assets part of this, and I kind of just cleaned it all up and just moved everything and deleted things that I wasn't using, so everything just looks better now at the bottom. I also have a battlefield picture in here for the UI purposes, and then I also have selection hands that you use to like drag around and just select things with. I also have different colors of those in here. Alright, so let's look at the main menu. This is my main menu scene, and in my hierarchy, I have a canvas that I use to have so many images in here. I have like 6 images in here. I have an image called singles, doubles, controls, exit, hand, and then I also have a empty game object outside of it that's called music. And literally all of this, everything that's in the canvas or under the canvas is just an image. Like it's not a raw image, it's just an image. And then I also just added the images that I have that were in the overview folder. In there I added the selection hand inside there. Yep, that's pretty much it for it. Alright, so for my hand image, I have a script, my main menu script that has a lot of stuff in it. I have a box collider which has like a smaller collider than what it normally would have been. Like instead of like the whole hand, it's only like the index finger. And then I also have an audio source, and the only thing that I have in my audio source is the audio clip. And this audio clip is for the when you confirm that you want to do something. So if you hit the singles, this sound effect will play when you hit the singles menu thing. Yeah. Alright, so now that we're in the code, I'm just going to do a quick maybe not quick, but I'm gonna just do a brain dump of all the stuff that's just in this code. So we're just gonna go from top to bottom and just see how this goes and just run off the course of my tongue. So at the top we're going to have using on all of those. I made sure that I added using UI because I am using the UI, and I need to use the scene manager because I am going to be changing scenes from this one, and most of my other ones I will be changing scenes, so I will probably be using this in the UI a lot more. And don't forget, I have the event systems in here too as well. And you need to make sure if you're gonna have any of these, you're gonna have to type these in, or unless it just automatically like gives you them. But if you're typing them in, make sure that you spell them right and correctly, or else it's just not gonna work, and we don't want that. Alright, so now in my public class main menu, I have an drag handler, and that's only if I really want to drag like the mouse, which is this script is attached to the mouse or the finger or the hand or whatever you want to call it, and because I have this, I'll be able to drag the hand and nothing else. But if you don't want your players to be able to do that with the mouse, then you don't need it. Then it's just pointless to you. and one part of this whole script is going to just be pointless to you. Alright, so now we go down to public. The publics, oh my god, there's just a lot of them. So I have a public collider, and instead of just like just doing public collider over and over and over again, I just made them into one, and I just named them all collider 1, collider 2, collider 3. But also you can just be as specific as you want for each one of these, and they'll all just be public colliders. They'll all be their own individual thing. So you can just do that, or you can just like list them out, but I didn't want to do that, so yeah. And then I have a public float left analog X and a public float left analog Y. This is for my GameCube controller, and this is for being able to move the left analog stick up and down with the mouse, or with the hand. And I'm always gonna say mouse, and it's just never gonna click with me that it's a hand. But yeah, but then we have the public float. These two are public floats, of course, because they're numbers. Make sure you remember that they're floats, they're numbers. And then I have a public float left or hand speed, and this is just the speed of which the hand moves at. So when you're using the public float analog analog X or analog Y, then the hand speed will control how fast the thing is going. And then of course I could have done this like I did the collider, but I listed them all out just so I can show you guys the differences. And so I have the public images for all of these, and I named them singles, double, controls, online, exit, and hand, because that's all the things that I have in my scene. Current scale, you really don't need it. I just have it for general purposes just because, but you really don't need it. But then you also have public audio source, and this is where I have my confirm sound, and this is where, like, if you like hit the A button on the thing on your collider, one of the colliders, then it'll play that sound, and it'll just play the sound. So after dealing with all those publics, god, then we go to void start. So when the game starts up, it's going to find an audio source, and it's going to have a new audio source. It's going to be audio source confirm, which I already have up at the top, and it's going to get component, and it's going to get the audio source component. So whatever my confirm is, it's going to find the audio source for that component. Alright, so next down we have public void on drag, and this is only for people who want the iDrag handler in here. Otherwise this is useless. So yeah, the point event data and then event data, all of this is just you drag it, and if you stop dragging it, it'll just leave it off where it is, and otherwise that's all it does. Alright, and then we have update. So in update, I first start off, I don't know why I started off with this instead of moving, but I started off with if I collided with the borders of the UI. So if my bounds intersected anything, then this would happen, else this would happen. This is exactly what I just did. That's all I did. So I left my collider 1 to be the hand, and collider 1 will be in all of these because I just copied and pasted all of these, and the only thing that really changed was for all of these copied and pasted ones is the collider 2, and that's basically it. And so I'm gonna just go over the collider 1 and just do that. So if collider 1, which is my hand, if the bounds, which is my collider, if the bounds of that collider intersects with the bounds of the collider of collider 2, which I made singles, so collider 2 I'm going to associate with singles, then it would do whatever is in the little brackets. So I'm going to have my singles image change from a slightly different color. That's all that's doing. Else, if it does not do that, then it's just a normal color. Then I just have it as like the basic all value color. And then I just copy and paste that too, and then I just keep going on and on for that. So if my first collider of the hand bounds intersects with the collider 3, which I have for doubles, then the doubles will change color. Else, doubles will remain the whole value. It just keeps doing it and just keeps doing it and keeps doing it. Alright, so this line of text or code, I have it so that if I do something, then something else more extravagant happens. So if my collider 1, so that's my hand, collider 1 is my hand, if the bounds of my hand intersects with collider 2, which is my singles, which I made singles, if it intersects with the bounds of singles, and if I get buttoned down, press the A button, which I went over with in my GameCube setup controller thing, my video. If you do that, then it'll play the confirm sound effect, and it'll also load the next scene, or load scene stages, which is my next scene. And now we're dealing with the motion or the movement of the hand, and literally I just copied and pasted this from my GameCube video when I was doing testing out the analog sticks. I literally just copied the left analog stick code, and I made sure I had the left analog stick X equals input get access left analog stick, because I already have that in my scene. Or in my project actually. You would know this if you had the other video, if you watched the other video. Literally I just changed the speed to hand speed or whatever I had it from the last time. But I literally just changed it from that, and then this is all done. That's pretty much it. Alright, so it's back in the inspector of my project and my main menu script. You can see that I have all my publics. They're all displayed here, and I just put them all in there. Make sure all of these have box colliders, and then just put them all in. Put my hand speed up there, it's pretty high up there, and make sure all my images were set in there. And my confirm audio source, I made sure that it was connected to the hand because the hand has the audio source. And so, yep, there we go. And then for all the other images except for the hand, I have just a box collider in there, just a simple box collider that you can just change the width and height to however you need it for your game. And for the last component on here, I have the music, and the music is just a empty game object, and it just has a script in it, and it has an audio source in it. That's all it needs. So I have the main music in here, which is a whole new script, and in this one all we have is just the audio source, and then we have an array here, so we can just have multiple things in here. And then just the audio source just has nothing in it. It's just an audio source. It has nothing to do with it. It's just there to play the sounds. Alright, so let me just do a quick brain dump on this whole code right here since it's so short. I'm gonna do at the top. So I'm using Unity Engine because I just don't need Scene Manager because I'm not changing any scenes, and I don't need Unity using UI because I'm not using any UI for this. I'm just changing music. I'm just doing music stuff with it. And so in it I have two publics, and so I have a public audio source which I named underscore audio source, and I also have an array here, so it's public audio clip with the straight brackets, and they named this array clips. So the straight brackets make it an array, and yeah, that's all we need for this right now. So now in my private void awake, I have underscore audio source, which I named my audio source, and I'm going to get the component of the audio source. So whatever I attach to this, I'm gonna try to find the component for this. So I'm just gonna attach it to my empty game object, which I named music, and it's going to have an audio source. So this will automatically get it. And then I also have game object, which I named objs, and it's equal to an object, which is obviously our game object that we already have, and it's going to find a tag with the name music, or with the tag music. And my music empty game object has a tag which I had to create, which you can just do very easily. It gives you an option under where you name it, and you're gonna just give it a name like music or something like that, and there it is. And so basically for the rest of this is like whenever you're playing this and you want music in the background, sometimes you just don't want it to delete, because whenever you don't want it to delete between scenes, because if you leave it as it is, you just put music in there and then just go to the next scene, the music will be deleted and it will not play throughout the whole thing. So if you want your music to continue throughout menus, this is how you do it. Otherwise, you don't need this. And so, but the other problem is that if you go back, so let's say you have your main menu and it plays music, and then you go to your next menu and then it just continues playing the music. Well, that's all fine and dandy and all, but if you go back to the first one, it'll recreate it, and so you'll have two things playing at the same time, and you don't want that, and that's not good. So what we're going to do is just make sure that it's only one at a time, and it'll destroy another one if something ever decides to make a duplicate of itself. So this is what this will do. And so if the objs length is more than 1, so if it's made more than 1, then it'll destroy this game object. So it'll destroy the music and it won't create it again. Otherwise it won't destroy anything, and it'll just keep going through the different scenes. And so the private audio clip, oh man, so it'll return the clips from ranges. Right now I have the range at 0, and then in my void update, if audio source is playing, then it's going to get a random clip, and if it doesn't, and then it's just gonna play it. That's literally all that's in the update. So if the audio clip equals get random clip, and it just plays it. That's literally everything in this. This thing is so easy. Alright. And now you guys see what this looks like when we put them all together. Alright, so let's go into the next scene, and we're going to be talking about the stages, and this is a pretty cool scene too. So first off, in my hierarchy, on the bottom, I have just copied and pasted the empty game object that I made that was named music. I have a particle system in the background that's just, playing just random particles. Of course, I have my canvas and my camera and my directional light, and then in my canvas, I have so many images. It's ridiculous. Alright, so let's just go over the ever-loving. Oh boy, let's just go over this. So I have like 40 copies, or however many copies I have, of just images, like literally just images. And then I have the images for the black part of the stage menu. I have an image for the yellow part. I have an image for the purple background, and I have the image for the big plain white one. And if you watched the basic CSS video, my second video, then you'll know we'll be turning this one off and then turning it on with turning it on if I hit another border with this. So basically all of these are just clones of each other, and yeah, and one of them, the one with the battlefield picture, is the only one with a box collider in there. So yeah. And in my stagehand script, which I attached to the hand again because I have another hand in here, I literally just copied and pasted like I did before, and instead of the puppet float being hand speed, it's just hand, and literally that's just it. So if you watched my second video, the character select screen or the CSS basic rigging and all that, then you would know I took the drag script and put it in here, but I've changed the names. I've changed the names, and so the stage one, and it's just an image, and it's just called stage. That is the big white box. And then the stage one is my battlefield picture. The collider one is my box collider that's on my hand, and then the collider 2 is the stage 1 or the battlefield little picture that has a box collider on it. So that's my collider 2. And yeah, if you watched the second video, then you would know this would work. And then this is how everything just turned out. And lastly, before I forget, I also did add the scene manager into this drag script, and I also added the UI because I was using the UI as well. Well, that was there from the beginning, so you would know that if you were watching the other video. But I did add the scene management, and in here I put at the bottom, if get input, the B button, which I've already set up in my GameCube video, and if I hit the B button, then it'll load the scene main menu, and that's basically it. And you can just flip through them, the music won't duplicate itself. And yep, I hope you guys have learned something new. I guess I'm sorry for how this turned out, and I hope this will be better in the next time. I'm going to be doing character select screens again, and I'm going to be finalizing that and trying to get that, and then I'll be doing controls with different controllers and making sure that you can have your own set controls for different names. So I hope you look forward to that, and I hope you guys stay epic.